I'm very amazed to see the kind of knowledge on variety of subjects and clarity in your mind. You should get into the first 20-30 persons. Good morning. Please sit down, Wardah.
Thank you, sir.
Wardah.
Yes, sir. Wardah.
What does Wardah mean?
So it means rose in Arabic.
Pardon?
Rose. Yes, sir.
So Wardah,
Yes, sir.
very interesting to see your DAP and your academic excellence. You are with Khalsa College, University of Delhi,
Yes, sir.
and thereafter you joined KPMG as audit associate.
Yes, sir.
After BCom, what did you do? That 20 and immediately thereafter you joined as the audit.
Yes, sir.
Then you left it in 21.
Yes, sir.
So what are you doing currently?
So since 21, I've been preparing for the exam only.
All right. You wrote this EPFO also.
Sir, I'd applied, but I couldn't go to write the exam.
Why?
So there was someone died in the family.
Oh, all right. Very unfortunate. I'm so sorry to learn that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell me, Wardah, about yourself. Why should UPSC select you for the civil service?
Okay. So I believe that right from the experiences that I gathered during my academic years, as well as the professional experience that I have gathered, the insights that I have taken will help me become a better
No,
diplomat.
you just give me what is your USP.
Yes, sir.
So I have to select you. You have to convince me within 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. So tell me, why should I take you?
So I believe that I have a fair understanding of the problems of the people. I am able to communicate with them better, and I would be able to redress their grievances in this way and put forward their demands.
All right. Tell me, what are the values which should be there in a good civil servant?
Yes. So the first.
Just give me the top 2 or 3 values.
Yes.
Don't give me a big answer.
So the top 3 values, in my opinion, the foremost would be integrity.
Okay.
There should be consistency in thoughts, words, and actions of the civil servant, and
Consistency between action and thoughts.
action, thoughts, and words. Yes. Sir.
Okay.
So second, a civil servant should be grounded. He should be very down to earth. There shouldn't be any ivory tower syndrome in them.
Okay. Accessibility.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Accessibility. And so third, they should be compassionate. Because empathy is very much needed while listening to the problems of people and being able to understand
Now,
them.
there is a lot of criticism
Yes.
about IAS, and it is being said that IAS has let down this country. Any comments of yours on that?
So I believe that the occasional news that comes regarding the corruption or the scams being perpetrated by them or acting in conflict of interest are highlighted more, whereas the good works that have been done by administrators are not particularly publicized because bureaucracy works on the principle of anonymity.
All right. Tell me, if you had to tell the achievements
Yes, sir.
of civil servants, especially the IAS in last 75 years,
Yes, sir.
what will you say?
So I can quote some examples for the same. So I believe that election commission has been made a very robust institution by the likes of T.N. Seshan when he was in the position of election commissioner of India. So second, I would say that in left-wing extremism affected districts, there have been efforts taken by new age civil servants to build the infrastructure, to conduct Jan Sunwais.
That is normal activity. No?
Yes, sir.
But somebody is asking you what has been their main contribution to the nation building in last 75 years. What will you say? What do they do?
Yes, sir. So delivery of welfare programs, maintenance of
Yes.
law and order.
That is very good. Large number of people have been taken out of poverty cycle.
Yes, sir.
That is one part. What else?
So maintenance of law and order, defense architecture, they have been
Alright,
also
to a
at the
large
forefront.
extent, yes, okay.
So with respect to international image of India, our diplomatic efforts have also borne
All
fruit.
right. So first you said that about democracy. You said in a very roundabout fashion, democracy, TN session you said. You should say that civil servants have played a major role in strengthening the institution of democracy.
Yes, sir.
without naming any civil servant. That is one.
Thank you, sir.
He may have been an ideal kind of thing or maybe an icon, but it has been done by all the civil servants who were involved in the election process.
Yes, sir.
Secondly, you said about law and order. So, in spite of everything, in spite of plurality, in spite of huge issues of diversity, multilingual, multi-ethnic, illiteracy, poverty, we have been able to keep the country united.
Yes, sir.
You did not say anything about the food, though you said that they have been able to. What did you use?
So, delivery of welfare program.
Welfare.
Yes, sir.
But the more specific is that they have been able to make this country self-sufficient in terms of food production,
Yes, sir.
isn't it?
Yes.
And then the security of the nation. Though it is being done by the armed forces, but in this country, armed forces are accountable to the civil authority. Tell me why it is important that the defense is accountable to the civil civil services or the civil officer or the democratic institutions. Why?
So, can I rephrase if I've understood the
Sure.
question? So, you mean to ask that why should the defense personnel be accountable to the civilian officials?
Yes.
Yes, sir. So, I believe that since civilian officials are directly responsible to the people and they are accountable to the people for maintenance of security.
All right, that
and-
is one part. What
Yes,
next?
sir. And so, defense has to undertake strategic operations, which is why it is not directly accountable to the people. It has a lot more going on for itself. So that is why there should be an alignment between the two forces, so that they are ultimately able to secure the interest of people.
Okay. To a certain extent, yes. The first part is because they, in democracy,
Yes, sir.
the executive has to be accountable to people through
Yes,
the
sir.
parliament.
It's a permanent executive civil service.
And similarly, the defense forces had to be accountable. You cannot leave them berserk.
Yes, sir. Right.
They can create a whole lot of issues in a democratic setup and especially in a country like India. What do you think of reservation for women in civil services? Do you think it's a good idea?
So, I don't necessarily believe that it is needed at the moment. There are various other initiatives by virtue of which women are
forget
being-
about other initiative.
Yes, sir.
I am asking your views on reservation for women in civil services. Do you think it's a good idea or not? First you say yes or no, and then you defend.
So, I do not necessarily
Why?
believe that it's a good idea.
There is a reservation in the parliament for women.
Yes, sir.
There is reservation at panchayati level. Why
Yes.
don't you have reservation for women in civil services as well?
So, some of the arguments that I would like to give by giving examples where the reservation exists right now. So, with respect to if we take right from educational institutions or in the first step, they can be provided reservation.
No, वो तो
to-
ठीक है, आपने
Yes,
reservation
sir.
दे दिया एजुकेशन में,
Yes, sir.
पर सिविल सर्विस में क्यों नहीं दे सकते?
So, because we haven't come across a problem of lack of representativeness.
Why? For last so many years, the representation has been about 12%, 13%, 14%. Now only it has crossed 30%. And don't you think it is in the interest of the society and in the interest of the nation to have more and more women in the administration?
So, it can
No?
be thought upon.
All right. Okay. Now my last question. Recently few bills had been passed by the parliament.
Yes, sir.
Can you name any three important bills?
Yes, sir. So, the three important bills that come to my mind are regarding criminal justice system.
One, wonderful.
Yes, sir. So, the three bills within that only I'd like to name.
All right, three acts.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Three apps.
One.
So, first is it is a reorientation of the erstwhile
All right.
priorities.
That is one part, one basket.
Yes, sir.
What is the other basket of bills?
So, another basket of bills. So, the Telegraph Act has also been amended recently.
What is the new name of that?
So,
Earlier it used to be Telegraph Act, and what do you call it now?
So it is telecommunication.
Absolutely wonderful. Okay, and third?
Yes, sir. So the third bill, so women's reservation bill in the parliament.
वो तो पहले ही हो गया था ना, इसमें
Yes,
थोड़ा
sir.
हुआ सेशन में.
Yeah, so I am not able to recall any.
All right, I give. The selection committee for the selection of election
sir,
commissioner
election.
and the chief election commissioner
sir.
has been altered.
Yes, sir. Right.
What are your comments on that? Do you think it's a good idea, bad idea?
So, in my opinion, it is a good step forward because earlier the appointment was concentrated in the hands of executive only. But now with this collegium system, there has been a representation of all the like leader of opposition as well, besides the executive. So it has it has established a concrete procedure for appointment of election commission.
No, concrete तो है.
Yes, sir.
पहले क्या था? पहले the committee which was suggested by the Supreme Court and interim में the Supreme Court had put that kind of a selection committee in place.
Yes, sir.
Now it has been altered. So what is the change?
So the Supreme Court had suggested that there should be CGI.
All right. और
The
अब now
leader of
CGI और
has
उसका
been-
representation नहीं है.
नहीं, yes, sir.
All right. So how is it effective?
So we can say that the balance is still tilted towards the executive a little because.
But you said that it was a good move. So how
because
do you say
earlier
it is
we
a good
did
move?
not have any process, but right now.
Agreed.
Yes.
But once Supreme Court had said that becomes the process now.
So it only suggested as an interim measure.
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
But जो भी says क्या था Supreme Court ने and now what has been put in place through this bill, do you agree with that or not? This is what I'm asking.
So if there would be any miscarriage of justice, then that can be challenged in the judiciary. But right now the composition.
But you see, what is the role of judiciary? Judiciary can look only into two things primarily.
Yes, sir.
What?
So whether the rights of people are not
Legality.
infringed. Yes, sir.
Basically, whether it is in conformity with the law of the land, including constitution.
Yes, sir.
That is one part. Second is process. Due process
Due
has to be
process.
followed.
Yes,
That's
sir.
all, nothing else.
Yes, sir.
So as long as due process has been followed and it has become the law now, so what can Supreme Court do?
Yes, sir. That.
Fair?
Yes, sir.
So don't you think that only pliable and those who are tilted towards the government of the day, they would get selected?
So they are largely bureaucrats. They have
No,
observed
that's
the
fine, but
principle.
bureaucrat means they are all shades of bureaucrats.
Yes, sir. So it depends upon the integrity of the person who occupies the exalted position largely. Because
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
But you see, suppose there are 10 guys who can be selected. So they would tend to select only that person who is pliable. No? And this is a very, very important institution because, as you said, democracy is the biggest pillar of this country.
Yes, sir.
And we got to nurture that, we got to strengthen that in every respect. So वही जो पिलर है आपका वही करोड़ नहीं हो जाएगा with this kind of a process.
So various independent measures.
All right,
have
tell me.
been there.
Do you think that if somebody files a PIL on this in the Supreme Court,
Yes, sir.
Supreme Court can strike it down? And if yes, on what basis?
So like you said that it basically judges a law on two touchstones, whether it is in line with the constitution and law and whether due process of law has been followed. So, sir, in this case, there is no manifest disjunction of the current law with these two principles.
No, that's fine.
Yes,
But
sir.
suppose somebody says that this is not in conformity with the spirit of Constitution. What is the spirit of Constitution? What is the basic structure of Constitution?
Separation
One-
of powers.
Separation of power plus one is democratic. The democratic country. Nobody can compromise on that. And if they feel that by this kind of a selection committee, they are compromising the fairness of election, and that means ultimately the democracy of this country, do you think there is some what should I say, some hook available to the Supreme Court on this?
So right now I cannot think
All
of
right.
any ground.
This is the time now to give you the feedback.
Yes, sir.
So be relaxed. So it's an honest and very frank conversation to give you feedback. So before we start that, we would like to know from you how did it go?
Yes, sir. So with respect to you, I think I could have been more articulate in my arguments with respect to questions you posed. So I need to be a bit clear about the legal aspects of things regarding bureaucracy, the election commission mainly, and
So,
and-
Wardha, I found you an outstanding candidate.
Thank you, sir.
In all respect, you have got very good energy, low energy at some point of time, but generally very high level of energy. You are articulate, you are pleasant, you give very well balanced replies, and you are confident.
Thank you, sir.
I am very amazed to see the kind of knowledge on variety of subjects and clarity in your mind is really exhibited in the candidates, and not only candidates, even in the officers, civil servants, and IAS. And it's a wonderful thing. I wish you should get into the first 20-30 persons.
Thank you so much, sir.
You have got huge potential. The only thing is, I do not know how did you fare in your written exam this time. You are taking sociology.
Yes, sir.
So how did you fare in your exam?
So I think I did pretty
This
well.
was your second attempt.
Yes, sir.
In first attempt, you had written your main
I
examination.
couldn't clear pre.
You couldn't. So I do not know how do you rate your performance in your written examination. Even if it is reasonably good, you are bound to make it. And since your first choice is foreign service, you are eminently suitable for the foreign service. God bless you.